3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading at number 1030. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a reoccurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So the first thing that I feel called to talk about is the idea that no matter what journey you're on, no matter what you're working toward, there will be ups and downs, ebbs and flows, growth, and I want to say plateaus. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I also saw the number 111 on the timer, which is about trusting yourself. It could also be a sign to trust myself, and I'm personally resonating with that because it feels like confirmation of what I felt called to talk about, with the fact that all journeys have ebbs and flows, ups and downs, growth and plateaus, as I said. So if things seem like they're moving slow, this is temporary. It's not going to be like this forever. The growth will continue. It could be very important for somebody to be very patient with something that they're investing in or working on for a long-term outcome. It could be related to money. Could also not. You take it however it resonates, if it does at all. So getting into interpreting the number 1030, the number 1 is about trusting yourself. So, of course, that is confirmation to trust myself in the messages that I feel called to give you so far, as well as a message for you to trust where you're at right now, what you're doing, what you're working on, what you're investing in. Trust the process. Feels like an important message here. The number 0, I interpret that as cycles. These could be cycles within you, recurring thoughts or feelings that are creating certain beliefs, leading to certain decisions, patterned decisions maybe. Or there could be patterns in your reality that you're noticing. They could be spiritual messages or signs or just the way that things align. This could be worth paying attention to. I also interpret the number 0 as a reminder that no matter what journey you're on, the journey with yourself always runs parallel. Of course, unless you are focused on that journey right now, but always know when it's time to choose yourself, when it's time to have fun and to relax, and when it's time to work and be productive. Make sure there's a healthy balance here between work and play. Know when to choose your well-being, your needs, and even your desires. Like, for me, I recently shared in a post a little bit about my routine to help give insight into why working on terms and conditions is taking a really long time. And after I am done being productive for 7 hours a day, I do a 1 hour walk because physical activity is important to me. And then after that, I like to log my dreams, study Italian for maybe 10 minutes, and, catch up with the news, because I think it's important to know what's going on in the world. But in recent days, especially on Sunday, a couple days ago, on the day that I'm recording this, I had a healthy, important reminder that these things are not obligations. They're not as important or necessary as the 7 hours that I do spend on being productive and physically active. I had to remind myself that these are optional, because I was feeling guilty for not logging my dreams or practicing Italian or catching up with the news. But I reasoned with myself that it's easy to catch up on logging dreams, because it takes all of 5 minutes maybe, just for writing one of them, or 10 minutes depending on how complex the dream was. And studying Italian, it's only 10 minutes. I think Italian is the one that I will want to mostly stay committed to, because when you learn a language, it's best to stay committed so you can make steady progress. But as for catching up with the news, I reason with myself. I don't have to know every little thing going on all the time. Maybe whenever my life is hectic. I like knowing and learning about the world. But in the recent past, I came to the conclusion that I need to put my focus on my own life before focusing on the world and what's going on around me. So maybe that could be helpful for somebody. Just another message here to know when to put yourself first. Your needs, when you're tired or burnt out. Know when it's time to relax or to have fun. There were 2 zeros, by the way, so that message is particularly important. It feels like trust the process and flow with the process, The number 3 is about self-expression and communication. Whenever I, came to these conclusions about my own routine, it was through journaling. So maybe that could help you really understand what works for you mentally in a way that helps you understand what also works for you physically, routine-wise, in this physical reality and what you choose to invest in. In general, this could be a message about finding a healthy way to express yourself or speak up, use your voice in a specific situation if you feel called to, if it feels safe to do so. If you are feeling fear around expressing yourself, don't pressure yourself to use your voice when you're not ready. I think it's important to understand the fear first and whether it's trying to protect you or limit you. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 3 is 4, plus 0 is 4. And I always see the number 4 as being connected to your ancestors, your past loved ones. So this feels like to me that your past loved ones, want you to really pay attention to what your intuition is trying to tell you. I also associate the root chakra with ancestors, just because it's survival stuff, feeling safe and secure, rooted, grounded in reality. And so I just get this strong, strong message from your ancestors encouraging you to take care of yourself. Slow down when you need to slow down. Relax, sleep, be lazy if you need to be. Have fun. Let yourself be free for it. If that is what you feel like you need. What do you need right now in this moment and trust yourself. I also forgot to mention with the number 3, I also interpret that as healing and growing and making a commitment. So this could be extra confirmation for someone who is trying to heal. Confirmation that growth will come again. Any important commitments that you have, like I was talking about the number 0, that journey with yourself always coming first. Maybe it's time here, or just confirmation here, to make that important commitment to yourself in the relationship that you have with yourself. Promise yourself that you will take care of yourself, listen to your needs and what you truly want. Be there for yourself, because you deserve to have that kind of relationship with yourself. And if you struggle to have that kind of relationship, I think it's time for some communication. You know, and I already did talk about that with the number 3. Communicating with yourself is just as important, if not more, as communicating with other people. It's so important to be aware of your own mindset, your own feelings, your own beliefs, and how these things are manifesting and creating your reality. There could be a reminder here about how truly powerful and in control that you are, to some degree at least. The other way that I interpret the number 4 is about stability. This could be psychologically, spiritually, or physically. I feel like the root of it, there's something mentally that could be weighing on you, emotionally, that is important for you to address and give the attention that it deserves, that you deserve. Let yourself understand yourself and heal yourself. I just know got this strong feeling that your ancestors really, really want you to have a healthy relationship with yourself, because you are the future. No matter how old you are, you're still alive, and as long as you're alive, you will have an impact. You matter. And I just felt, so act like it. There could be an ancestor or two for somebody that is passionate. I mean, I think all of our ancestors are passionate about our well-being, but I think there's somebody watching this video in particular who's feeling stubborn, and it's like I'm kind of getting like a tough love type of feeling. Like, I understand that you're upset, you're angry, it's valid, but you don't deserve to take it out on yourself, and I won't allow it. That's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting from somebody's ancestors. Like I said, I believe all of our ancestors are passionate about our well-being. So there very much could be someone else's ancestors coming and letting you know, like, hey, pay attention. That's how deeply connected I believe that we all really are. Moving into the cards now, I'm going to start with a couple of cards from the Magical Dogs Tarot here. We're going to try to get a little more specific, a little more insight into what is actually going on here with these messages. Why do the people watching this video need encouragement to trust themselves and express themselves, have an open line of communication with themselves? Why are people here right now being encouraged to heal and to trust that growth will come again? You're not stuck. You're still. I just got an ad on a video that I'm listening to as I do to help me focus on this reading, and it was distracting. So, don't you love whenever you're listening to a meditation video, whoever resonates for it, and they put ads in the middle of it? I get it. You want to make money, but like put it at the beginning or the end, please. Thank you. But as I was talking about with the cards, what deeper insight or messages could you get here? Yeah, I have the I'm feeling distracted by different cards that I keep wanting to say. I don't remember what they were, but this is the King of Swords in reverse. This is confirmation here for me that there is something weighing on your mind, psychologically, emotionally, maybe a certain mindset or way of thinking that needs to be addressed. What kind of leader or role model or example do you want to be in life for other people, for younger people, whether they're in your life or not? What kind of impact do you want to have? Know that whenever you harm yourself in the way that you think, and of course ultimately in your own reality, it harms other people too. And how you feel is very much valid. I want to say I saw 654. Trust that everything happens for a reason. I definitely do think that you are angry, maybe numb, deeply upset for a reason. A message that I like to give when people are feeling particularly stubborn is that I believe that we are meant to ask why. Why me? Why do I feel this way? Why did I go through what I did? I believe that we're meant to ask that. Because if we weren't, we wouldn't, you know? And I think that that is the doorway, the bridge to faith, that question. Why me? Why this? Why now? Because everything happens for a reason. And sometimes you get to decide what that reason is, put your own meaning to what your own experiences mean to you. And sometimes there's a predetermined reason that the universe wants to reveal to us. And sometimes there's a reason we'll never know, at least not in this lifetime, and it's just about trust. But I do feel that the answers that you need are out there. And you have to give yourself permission to find them, to search for them, to believe in them. Believe in yourself so you can find yourself. Yeah. Next, Ace of Wands. I was wanting to say the Ace of Swords. It feels like there's an opportunity that is blocked. And it's frustrating because it is something or someone that you feel passionate about. And I think it is important to ask why. Why is this blocked? Why is this not happening? Why is growth and change, positive change, stopped? What happened? You could feel the need to investigate a situation or your own thoughts and feelings to better understand what's really going on. Because to fix a problem, you first have to understand what the problem actually is. So deep down, what are you actually feeling? What's your intuition trying to tell you? What's your mind, your heart, and your soul trying to communicate to you? If it's another situation, why isn't this person communicating? Why aren't they being honest? And sometimes it doesn't matter why they're not communicating or being honest. You don't wait, in my opinion, you don't wait for somebody to start caring, to start being honest. Honesty is a very strong value of mine, honestly. It's one of those things that I feel are non-negotiable. Of course, there's white lies, lies that don't hurt anybody, but I'm talking about intentionally deceptive lies that are meant to deceive in a way that is selfish and malicious. Or malicious, I guess it doesn't always have to be intentionally malicious. But I hope what I'm saying makes sense. It's important to understand why somebody could be being dishonest, or why you are being dishonest to yourself, about yourself, or about life, or a situation. This really feels like affirmation of what I was saying about how important communication is, expressing yourself and using your voice. You deserve to know what's really going on within yourself and around you. And the best way you're going to find out is by communicating with yourself, or trying to communicate with other people. And the way that I see it is, if other people aren't willing to communicate, I wouldn't overlook that. I'm going to finish up this reading by drawing out one last card from these box of cards here. These are just cards that I made myself, which I always find interesting to pull. Okay, so I have the Devil in reverse. This is what it says on the back. It has number 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. A choice between self-love and self-destruction. Of course, as I say in a spiritual reading, it's going to be encouragement for you to choose self-love. This card says, what's really standing out to me here is freedom. Chains, release, chains breaking, release, restoring control, debt, cleared, focus, clarity, and healing. This reminds me of what I was talking about, letting yourself be free. Knowing when to have fun, when to relax. If you really look at the core of it, I guess a work-life balance is about freedom, isn't it? It can definitely teach you a lot. I think that there's definitely something here weighing very, very heavily on you, and it's not fair. You're either not being fair to yourself, with yourself, and or someone's not being fair to you, or there's a situation here where the expectations on you are too high. You deserve to be free. You really, really do. And that's why I think it's interesting that there was a message about a reminder of how powerful you actually are. If you lock yourself in a mental, psychological prison, I believe that it will manifest into a physical, very real prison. I think the way out that you're looking for is within yourself. So let yourself heal, as the card says, and reflect and communicate, so you can really, really understand how you feel, how another person feels, what the situation is about, and determine whether it's really worth it or not.